So in this video, I'll give you everything you need to dominate in the post in NBA 2K26. This video will give you the most comprehensive tutorial for the post under different playstyles. So whether you're a power post player like Shaq, a big guard who likes to take people out in the mid-range like DeMar DeRozan, a finesse player like Jokic or Akeem Olajuwon, or someone like Kobe who's an apex predator in the mid-post, this video will give you everything you need to dominate in NBA 2K26. So first, let's start with the mindset of attacking in the post in 2K26. The biggest way to get into trouble in the post in this game is by attacking a defender by simply just going through them without creating an advantage. As you can see right here, Kristaps was long enough to stonewall Joel Embiid. So generating the advantage is the first thing you have to do in order to succeed in the post. With this sort of size mismatch against SGA, it's okay to just go through your defender. But with Joel Embiid, with the size and strength advantage over Kristaps, you want to make sure you like to use that post powerhouse to take Kristaps down low. Likewise right here with Nikola Jokic on Lou Dort, but also going around them with the use of post-up poet. So the first thing you need to do is to learn how to use moves to create these advantages, otherwise you'll get frustrated with the way defense is calibrated in 2K26. Generating space, creating an advantage, these are the important principles we'll go through in the tutorial of this video. I'm going to give you all the different moves to generate these advantages and teach you the secrets in the post, such as identifying how to correctly attack the contest system. We're going to use size, strength, movement, and the different types of shots to generate an advantage. So let's start with the basics. You can enter the post by holding L2 as long as you are within range, usually around the free throw line and down. Release L2 and you will face up against your defender, giving you swing animations, different types of pivot steps. Now, from a post-up position, tap the left stick in any direction to change your position by pivoting. This is another way you can face up and size up your defender and attack them in different directions. Different face-up animations will be activated depending on your body position, so you want to tap the left stick in different directions, exit the post, and then give you different types of face-up animations. The main benefit of changing your body position is to give you different angles of attack against your defender. Zach Edey right here is lighting up the shading indicator against Nikola Jokic, so going through Zach Edey is not a good option. So we face up, and as you can see, we shift around the shading indicator, taking note of what green zones open up. We attack those green zones using our different post spins and post drives and make an advantage out of a nothing situation. So for power players, let's start with our power back down. While holding L2 and R2, push the left stick towards your defender, and if you got a size and strength advantage, you will typically create space by going through your defender. I like to use this position to create that initial separation, attack accordingly. In this case, I spin towards Akeem, drawing more contact so I can go for an easy standing dunk by holding down on the right stick. Now, from those advantage situations after the bump, you want to quickly hold the right stick towards the basket. This will give you different animations after creating an advantage for an easy post layup. So now, after exiting the post by releasing L2 and entering a face-up position, if you have a player with a triple threat hop jumper, I want you to use that triple threat hop jumper in combination with the opening up of your stance after a triple threat move. DeRozan right here has a triple threat hop jumper going to his left, so does Jason Tatum, which is an excellent one dribble pull-up. Facing up gives you so many options to your left, to your right. Catching them off guard after a quick face-up like this is a great and easy way to score against your defender. Now, most people usually just enter the post with their back to the basket, but I developed something called dynamic post entries. So out of any move, as long as you are entering that sort of hunched animation, hold L2 in the middle of that animation, as I do with Kobe Bryant right here after a step back jumper cancel. I hold L2, quickly entering the post, and then initiate a post fade. These are what I call dynamic post entries, typically in combination with a lot of your perimeter-based moves. This is a great way to open up different possibilities to attack the post. So for example, after this swing pump fake animation, I hold L2, enter into a post animation, and just attack with a fadeaway. Out of a triple threat spin, for example, I combo that into a dynamic post entry, as I do right here, spinning towards the baseline, counter with a dynamic post exit by comboing that with a shimmy jumper. This is the next level of attacking in the post that not a lot of people really know how to do. But once you open up this as a possibility, it just opens up a completely different layer of the game, giving you new attacks that you didn't know was possible before. And with 2K26 improved responsiveness, these moves are easier than ever before. So next, out of your post-up position, you can tap the right stick in different direction to give you different types of setup animations. This right here prevents a steal. You got your shimmies, your pivots, your jab steps, your swings, and your different types of shoulder fakes that you can use to set up different moves, which I'll show later on. Use these different setup moves to set your defender up to attack them in different positions or get them to disengage and then attack after those setup animations. So while holding turbo, tap the right stick in different directions. This will give you different types of movement-based setups. Tapping the right stick towards the basket gives you a post-drive fake, away from the basket gives you a post-retreat, towards the left or the right will give you different types of changes in position. As you can see right here, the post-drive fake forces DeAndre Ayton to sort of try and close off that driving lane. We counter with a post-hop jumper. As I said in the start, attacking your post defender isn't simple as going through your defender. You got to shift them around by using a lot of these movement-based setups. For example, one of my favorite moves is a post-drive fake, tapping the right stick to the right here, and then immediately holding square to quickly chain into a post fadeaway. If you do a post fadeaway using the stick, you will actually get a slower animation. As you can see right here, by using square on the left, we're able to launch into a quicker post fade animation. You can combo these different setup moves with your post spin jumpers, your post fades, your post hop jumpers, or even your movement based attacks, which I'll show later on. Next, let's go to our post spin drives, our primary way to attack out of the post. So while in the post up position, rotate the right stick clockwise or counterclockwise and hold the left stick towards the basket. This will give you a post spin drive. Make sure to release L2 as you are initiating your drive. You can also do this just by simply holding the left stick towards the basket and letting go of L2 after you initiate that drive. I like the control that the right stick method gives personally, but the left stick method is easier to execute overall. For example, here, after I just push the left stick up and to the left towards the middle of the floor, I release L2, giving me a post drive to the middle, which I combo into a sweeping hook. You'll need a high post control and ideally a high level of post-up poet to really use this badge effectively. Once again, you see the shading indicator lit to the middle, so I can't go through Isaiah Hartenstein. I rotate the right stick towards the middle of the floor and launch to give me a post drive, easily giving me an open lane to the basket. Now sometimes even though you don't get that clean spin drive, just initiating that contact and causing an advantage out of that physicality is almost enough sometimes to just give you an easy basket. So once you exit the post with your post spin drives, you can actually transition to your perimeter based moves. So for example right here, after I spin drive out of the post with DeMar, I just use a shimmy spin and then combo that with a step back jumper to give you a classic DeMar DeRozan combo. So if you want to learn how to do the shimmy half spin, you can also check out my full dribble tutorial to give you these types of moves. 2K26 combines the post to the perimeter and the perimeter to the post easier than ever before. The other thing you can do out of these post spins is to cancel them with hop jumpers. It's not the same for every hop jumper, but for example, DeMar DeRozan, after I spin towards the baseline right here, if I hold R2 and pull the right stick down, this gives me a post spin cancel into DeMar DeRozan's step back jumper. You can also post spin cancel into your post fadeaways. So after your post drive right here, I just hold L2 again to enter into a post-up position and then quickly fade away by pulling the right stick down and away from the basket. For Jokic, for example, who has a high post control and a high midi, just comboing this with his different step back jumpers is an easy way to create separation and get easy buckets. So the other thing you can do out of your post spin drives is to initiate a post re-entry. Remember, out of your post spin drives, after you drive towards the basket, you have to release L2. Well, hold L2 again as long as you are in a position where you're still in that sort of hunched and driving position so that you can easily re-enter the post, and then you can just do any of your post moves accordingly. So here, for example, I do a double post spin drive with Joel Embiid, generating that first advantage and then quickly countering once again to trap Kristaps Porzingis with an easy dunk. This is a great way to counter ongoing help defenses, for example. And then just stack the different moves which I showed you earlier on, such as your step back jumpers. Okay, next is your post spin counters. You can initiate different post spin counters by pushing the left stick in different directions. For example, here I push the left stick down and to the right to execute that post spin step back towards my ball hand. After that post spin gives you that post spin hezi. Since Post Up Poet is really good this year, these moves right here are gonna be so effective because of people trying to close out on your different post spin drives. This just gives you different ways to attack your defender. As you can see right here, that post spin hezi, always a great move to set up different types of bursts and different types of hop jumpers. DeMar DeRozan, for example, has a very nice hop jumper crossover going to his left. So I like to use my post spin hezi to combo with that specifically. Because shooting is so easy in 2K26, that hezi setup will give you the space you need to really pick and choose how to attack your defender. J-Dub tried to close me out to the right there. I just combo with a hop jumper going to my left. This is again another great way to transition from your post-up game to your perimeter game and give you access to all the different pro play animations that a lot of these alpha type big guards that have very nice mid-range hop jumper packages for you to use very effectively. If you hold the left stick towards the opposite direction of your drive, you will get a post spin counter, which I really like to use to bump my defender. You can also execute a crossover snatch using your left stick counters. Just make sure you try and point the left stick in different directions to give you the different types of moves that are available to you. These moves are great to put pressure against your defender, force them to react and overreact, and then attack accordingly. You can even delay these post-spin counters by holding the left stick after you've made a significant amount of distance with your drive. As you can see right here, I delayed the second post-spin as soon as Zach Edey tried to close Jokic out to the right. That quick post-spin right there gave us the space we needed to execute this nice sweeping hook from Nikola Jokic. And again, that second spin out of this post-spin counter is another great example of animation you can use to re-enter into the post. There's also post spin counters going to your left if you want to spin towards the middle of the floor, as you can see right here. Using Nikola Jokic's hop jumpers is just a cheat move for this sort of setup. So by now, I hope you're seeing the vision for the type of moves we're trying to build right here. I gave you the basics of post movement in the first part of this video, giving you different post spin counters, post entries, post re-entries, dynamic post entries, combos out of the exits, giving you different tools to attack in whichever direction. Just not doing that standard plow through your defender, drop step, those easy combos that 99% of players only know how to do. Now I'm giving you different options to attack your defender. These are gonna be the essential tools that you need in order to beat your defender in 2K26. And trust me, going up against human defenders in the post, it's easier than you think. Now that we're done with movement, let's go to post shot creation, starting with drop steps. To initiate a drop step, tap square and hold the left stick to the left or to the right. In this case, I want to spin towards the baseline, so I hold the left stick towards up and to the right towards the basket. That will give you a simple post drop step. If your defender doesn't have any sort of interior defense, just use this and fire away. But against more difficult defenders like Akeem Olajuwon, these aren't so straightforward, so I have to attack him with a post spin counter before I eventually enter into a post re-entry and then use the drop step to give him the old black tornado. And before you say pause, that is what Shaq calls this move, by the way. If you are a power player and use that aggressive post back down, combo that with that drop step so you can enter into that standing dunk as soon as you pin them towards the basket. Now again, tapping square and holding the left stick towards the left in this situation will give you a post power hop, which is a great way to plow through your defender. Here's Karl Anthony Towns with much smaller defenders against him, and that's easy work against these little dudes. This covers so much space, so much distance, and creates a lot of separation if you can create that advantage. Next, we can combo our post spin with our drop step as I showed you with Shaq earlier on. Spin towards the basket and then just tap square after re-entering the post and then hold the left stick towards the baseline. This gives you a nice dynamic setup to use the drop step against much more capable defenders in the post. In this situation, combine that drop step with the dunk by holding the right stick towards the basket while holding turbo. As you can see, we turned that drop step into an instant spin dunk. Alright, next let's go to post hook shots. Not my favorite move to be honest, unless you're using Joel Embiid, but you want to hold the right stick up and to the right or up and to the left to execute a post hook. Some of these post hooks don't get a lot of height, so they'll be easily contested, so I do recommend using Joel Embiid. And again, you want to make sure that you generate that vertical distance by first giving them an aggressive post back down, creating that space. And as you can see right here, that Joel Embiid post hook actually gets a lot of height, which will not be contested. To execute a post shimmy hook, hold R2 while holding the right stick up left or up right. I don't use these moves to score, mostly to set up dream shake like moves. Alright, next we got our post fadeaways. While holding L2, now you want to hold the right stick down and to the right or down and to the left. You can also do this while holding square, just hold the left stick down and to the right or down and to the left to choose the direction of your post fade. One technique I like to use is off of that quick catch. I just immediately hold L2 and push the right stick down and away from my defender, giving me a quick post fade counter. But if you're going up against much taller defenders like Zach Edey right here, you want to set them up with your different post drive fakes, for example, or your different post spins. You just can't rely on this unless you got a height mismatch against your defender. So against bigs, you want to make sure that they move around so that they're not able to contest you really aggressively. So you can see right here, that's exactly what we do, comboing a post fadeaway with a post drive. Alright, now let's do the post shimmy fade. Again, while holding L2 and R2, you want to hold the right stick to the right or to the left to execute a post shimmy fadeaway. When people see that shimmy animation, they like to sit on that animation and jump trying to anticipate the fade, so want you to use it as a way to fake your defender out. But for some of these post-fade animations, they do also generate a lot of good space. But again, create that separation either by spinning away from your defender or going through your defender. Alright, next we got our post hop jumpers, which is done by holding L2 and R2 and then pushing the right stick down and to the left, down or down and to the right. Your post hop jumpers is another great way to combine movement with your different post fades. For example, just take a look at the space we generate here by using that post hop jumper out of that triple threat pump fake into that spin. These post hop jumpers are gonna give you that extra horizontal space to combine with the vertical space you generate out of your post fades, making sure that your post attacks are more dynamic, less predictable, and give you every advantage that you can think of. Again, use these post hop jumpers as soon as you catch the ball, as I do right here. It's a great way to generate that advantage. In general, you want to go quick against your defenses so that they don't set up. Next, we got our post go-to shots, a new addition to 2K26. You want to do this by holding up on the right stick. And depending on the direction you're facing or whether you're dribbling or in a triple threat stance, you will get different types of post go-to shots. KD's got some great post fades. Hakeem Olajuwon has got his dream shake. SGA's got those triple threat dribble step back jumpers. There are even some insane escape dribble post go-to shots. I'll dive deeper into this in a separate video to show you the potential of the system. But generally, changing the direction you face, whether you're dribbling the ball or in a triple threat position, is what's going to determine which post go-to shot animation you're going to take. You even got your up and under step throughs, your different types of shimmy fades, hook shots, post pivots. These post go-to shots are very diverse in terms of the animations that you get, but I'm not quite sold on them in 2K26. Alright, you can also cancel your post go-to shots just by releasing the right stick before you enter the critical animation. Now for some animations, the critical animation happens earlier on. For example, your step through shots, they have to be very quick. For your post hook shots, for example, you can have more time, but releasing the right stick, for example, if your defender sits on this animation or bites on that pump fake, is a great way to use post go-to shots. You can also combine your post go-to shots with your dynamic post entries, as you can see right here, giving you another avenue to combo into your post go-to shots. So out of a post drive snatch back right here, I then quickly hold L2 and push the right stick up to enter into SGA's exaggerated post fadeaway go-to shot. What this does is gives us different avenues to use post go-to shots and not just the standard ways in which you'd like to use them, giving you different setups and different opportunities to catch your defender off guard. Once again, you want to practice your dynamic post entries, which are your drives from the perimeter, entering into the post, and then countering with your different post go-to shots. These are probably some of the most fun ways to use post go-to shots just because your defender really won't expect them. Alright, next let's go to our up and unders. If you're an Akeem user, this is something that's gonna definitely have to be in your bag. So execute any post shot by tapping square, not continuing into the shot, and then holding the right stick in different directions to enter into your up and under, or using square and the left stick in different directions. In this case right here, after I initiate a post shimmy fade pump fake, I hold the right stick to the left to counter with a reverse pivot scoop. This system takes advantage of the contest system in 2K26. As soon as you see your defender jump, just go up immediately, unless you're going up against a long and athletic freak. Pause once again, I really didn't mean it. It's one of the best ways to create separation, at least vertically. So again, after your pump fake, experiment by pushing the right stick up and to the left, up and to the right, to the right, to the left, or down right. And depending on your position, it will give you different types of up and under counters. So if you're into Akeem, if you're into Jokic type moves, Kobe type moves, these are really great ways to attack your defender. As you can see right here, after we get Kita to jump after that pump fake, that's when you really want to rise up and attack once again, just because the contest is weakest at that point. So again, another example of a dynamic post entry. Here I combo in a traditional Kobe shimmy fade. I don't release the shot button after that shimmy, and then I counter with a reverse pivot up and under fadeaway from Kobe Bryant, holding the right stick down and to the left. The direction of your left stick or right stick input will determine the direction of your up and under counter. Speaking of, to execute a Dream Shake in 2K26, you got to equip Akeem Olajuwon's go-to shot package, as you can see right here. Now, it's a prolonged sequence, which I don't really like using because 1, it's easily defended, and 2, there's a lot of time spent to get you in bad situations. So for Dream Shakes, you want to use your up and unders, which I showed in the previous segment. As you can see right here, shimmy fade into a reverse pivot fade fake, and then once again into a fadeaway gives you a manual Dream Shake combo that's way more effective than his go-to shot. This is a matter of you hunting an advantage out of these different pump fakes and are way more effective than Akeem's go-to shot. Now, after your post drives, you have access to different floaters, hook shots. Again, just hold the right stick away from the basket, for example, for your floaters, up left or up right for your layups or sweeping hooks. This gives you different sort of finishing animations. For Jokic right here, I like this sweeping hook, which is done by holding the right stick up and to the left as you're driving to the left after your post spin drive. You also have access to these different types of fadeaways, giving you different options to attack your defenders. Alright, remember those right stick setups I showed earlier on? Depending on the direction where you push the right stick, you will get your shimmies, your different face-up pivots, your swing animations right there. You can actually combo this with your different step-back jumpers. For this situation, I like to use square and then push the left stick in different directions to give you access to different post-spin fadeaways, for example, or even different post step back jumpers out of your right stick setups. So think Kobe, think Joel Embiid, think Carmelo Anthony. You have access to different advanced shots after these right stick setups. So for example, right here, after I do a right stick pivot, I double tap square to execute a post spin fadeaway. So here, after a post swing animation, tapping the right stick to the right, I just tap square and hold the left stick away from the basket to execute a post step back jumper. So try to test these out by tapping the right stick in different directions, whether you're in the back to the basket position or in a face-up position, and see how you can combo with your post-spin jumpers by double tapping square or executing a post-hop jumper. Alright, now we got our post-spin combos. So these are essentially done by holding the right stick towards the basket or away from the basket after executing your post-spin moves. What these are is basically combining your post-spin moves with your different standing layups. For example, you have your step-throughs, your post-spin bully animations, or your quick reverse post-spin layups. So now I will warn you, these aren't highly replicable. You can sometimes activate these on command, but mostly it's RNG based on positioning. But if you're able to execute, these are some of my favorite moves in the game. For example, after this post spin, we use that step through to use our shoulder to guard away from Shaq, and it's just such a fun move to use. So there you have it, the most comprehensive post guide in NBA 2K26, but it won't be my final sound off on the post game. There's still a lot of experimental moves I'm working on, a detailed post go-to shot tutorial, but what you'll have here is the most comprehensive guide to attacking in the post. Whether you're a Melo type, a Kobe type, a Shaq, a Nikola Jokic type, a Joel Embiid, or a Hakeem Olajuwon, this tutorial gives you all the tools you need to dominate in the post, whether you're power post, finesse post, mid-range, or low post. So go out there, use these tools to cook your defender, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.